Welcome yet again to the Sorrow Mind podcast. Today we have a guest, MissShadowLovely, one of the more interesting visitors to the mind, and one of my favorites. I must say, we had a grand old time, and I hope you enjoy the interview as well. Remember, afterwards there is a good little story for all the listeners to hear. This one featuring a friend of mine, and also featuring MissShadowLovely. Don't worry, it's not a little joke like last week. Enjoy the podcast, and sorry for any delay. It gets hectic down here. Welcome to the third episode of the Sorrow Mind podcast. Guess what? I didn't flub it up this time. It is really late at night for me because I've been up all day because I've been out with my friends because it's my birthday and crap. So, yeah, I'm tired as hell, but we have a guest here to pick up my slack. MissShadowLovely.
Good evening.
Good evening, my dear. I should have done that in Vincent Price voice. Do it again. Good evening, my dear. Hello. Oh no!
Geez.
Now it sounds really creepy. Oh my!
Oh my!
Oh Lord! But seriously, I'm really happy to have you on here.
I'm very happy to be here.
So, to anybody who's just listening to this one, this is a podcast by readers for the community. We're trying to get the community together, and this is the one of the ways that Sorrow Mind wants to help. You know, we're trying to do this podcast just to appeal to the creepypasta reader, and it's something that I wanted back when I was getting into listening to a lot of podcasts. I would always look for a creepypasta podcast that just talked about it, and there really was none. That was the idea behind the podcast. So, that said, we'll go ahead and get started because we're going to do the same interview with everybody, but you know, with everybody adding their own little flavor to it. So, same questions, but hey, it's still going to be a little bit of fun. But before we do this, I'd like to tell a little bit of interesting story. So today, a friend of mine, in Ben creepypasta style, decided to give me his old GameCube. One of the games with it, of course, was Wind Waker. I am scared to turn it on because I'm sure that there's going to be a file named Ben. I am sure of it. Because
is your body ready?
My body is quite ready. Which, that's another thing. Not next week, but the week after, we're going to have possibly a two-parter on Legend of Zelda creepypasta. We're not going to be talking about the games as much, but we're going to be talking a lot about the creepypasta based around the games and how much it influences creepypasta. But for now, let's go ahead and start this interview. So, before we start, anything you want to say, MissShadowLovely?
My body is ready.
That actually caught me off guard a little bit, even though you've said it 3 times. Okay. All right. So anyway, what made you get into creepypasta as, you know, just a hobby before you read or anything for YouTube?
Well, actually, eons and eons ago, when I was about 14 or 15 years old, which was about 4 years ago, there was just the generic creepypasta.com or creepypasta.net. I don't remember which one it was. But basically just a website that had this archive of creepy stories. And I would literally spend every afternoon of my life sitting on my bed with my computer, listening to The Birthday Massacre and reading creepypastas. And that was my entire existence until one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to write one of these things. And I wrote the story, You're Not Scared, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of, I was really surprised. It made front page of the website, and it has kind of gone down in infamy as the precursor to Jeff the Killer.
And I do enjoy that one.
I do. I enjoy my own story, which is kind of, I guess, big-headed, but man, it's a good pasta.
Well, people say that if you like the way you sound on... like the sound of your voice, you're egotistical. I'm probably egotistical really badly. But I actually attribute that just the fact that I have listened to unknown hours of podcasts, so I'm very used to a certain way of speaking. So
true that.
But anyway, I did not know that it was actually a precursor to Jeff the Killer, though.
Well, it's kind of like an unspoken. Okay, I wrote it before Jeff the Killer had even come out on the scene, and now anyone who reads it now instantly associates it with Jeff the Killer. No, I don't know why. Just it instantly gets associated with Jeff the Killer, even though it has nothing to do with it. So it's now become like the unspoken precursor to Jeff the Killer.
Awesome.
Yeah. I like wrote a whole franchise in reverse.
There you go. You got.
I'm just that awesome.
Spiritual precursor, I guess, would be a good way to say.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Alrighty then. So moving on, like, what so was it just your writing that one that got you into doing the readings on YouTube, or?
I actually had no interest in doing readings whatsoever, but back in said eons ago, when I was 14, 15 years old, I was really into amateur voice acting, and I went through some stuff in my life and kind of disappeared off the internet for about 1.5 to 2 years, and when I came back, I Googled MissShadowLovely, because why not, and the video that Mr. Creepypasta did of my story, You're Not Scared Right, was the first result. So I clicked on it, and I kind of had like a 15-minute little fangasm moment of, hey, this really popular dude totally read my story. And I started talking to this dude, and we became like really good friends, like right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hey, you want to be in my Candle Cove video? And I was like, yeah, man, I want to be in your Candle Cove video. And that kind of got the ball rolling.
Well, then, we're relatively alike then, because Candle Cove was what got Sorrow Mine started, because we live so close to Ashland and Ironton, where
oh gosh,
I live an hour away from Ashland. So,
that feel.
Yeah, that feel.
That feel.
I know that feel, but from there, did you have any specific types? Like, what was your mindset going into to doing the readings? Just fuck it, it's fun.
Yeah, pretty much that, and well, I guess Candle Cove got some pretty good reception. The only thing is now I am infamous for, instead of saying 1971 and 1972 like I should have in the script, I said 1971 and 1972 because I thought they were television channels, not years. So I looked kind of retarded in the first in the first ever debut of my voice, and I was like, I'm gonna get better at this.
Well, it's better to actually have something somebody remembers then, I think, but even if it is a flop up.
For real. And then there was Cupcakes. That was the second. That was my redeeming.
It's time to make the admission. I have watched a couple episodes, yet I am not a brony.
It's okay. I know that feel, bro.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It's still a really great kids show. I'm not going to diss it. It's just I do not feel the bro hoof or anything. So
I would not consider myself like a Pegasister or a brony, but I don't dislike the community. I don't dislike the brony community. I do find it weird when like a 600-pound neck-bearded mouth breather is like, let me dress up like Fluttershy. I find that a little concerning.
Yes.
But I'm not like, man, you're weird. I'm like, man, you're unique.
In the interest of any bronies listening, I find that quite weird. I'm not as tolerant as that far. But then again, I'm also sitting here next to a TARDIS that has 2 sonic screwdrivers in it, so.
It's okay. That feel, bro.
Yeah, and next to my copious amounts of Final Fantasy games that's stood up right next to me, with my favorite in the middle, Final Fantasy VIII.
I'm wearing a shirt that says Zombie Outbreak Response Team with a copy of Left 4 Dead directly to the left of my foot.
Fandom!
Oh, yes.
It's awesome. Join the party, everyone. Join the party.
For the win.
Indeed. Heck, I just got done playing Luigi's Mansion, so I mean...
And you survived.
Indeed. But, moving on, what's your favorite creepypasta just that you've read?
My very favorite creepypasta is actually the very first creepypasta I ever read, and Mr. Creepypasta actually just recently recorded this just for me because I was like, please record this, and he was like, okay. And it was Out with a Bang, and I don't remember who the author is, but
I don't think I've gotten around to listening to that one.
Oh, it's not one of those like, oh man, I'm never gonna be able to sleep again pastas, but the ending line is just you just read it and you're like, whoa. Like I was not it's just one sentence and you're like, whoa.
There's one that I recorded that was a lot like that, which will be up probably not the Saturday this comes out, but either the next Saturday or that week before that Saturday. But anyway, that one's another one that that is like that. It's the
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that you're like, oh yeah, this is a cool story, and then you actually commit to it and read the whole thing, and when you're at the end of it, you're like, man, that was a good pasta.
Yeah, that's like what we released recently. Return to the Earth. That's one of them where I'm like, shit.
You know, right?
I'm not a fan of the end of the world pasta or anything like that, but that one's just a really well written story, and Dustin, the keeper, is really good at reading those type of stories, especially, and that's the stuff that he specializes in. Basically, I'm stories about people going crazy. Dustin is more grandiose stories, and somebody who just did his first recording earlier tonight, which will be up probably Saturday, is more like the more sad but not feel pasta, but the more sad, depressing style. So I mean, that's how we put them out, and we also give each other, of course, the characters, which is something that I hope gives our readings a little bit more of a unique spin and everything.
Yeah, and also, shameless self-promotion. I am the person who coined the term feel pasta. The Creepy Dark would like to think that he coined it, but it was actually me, and he's just jelly.
I really think this is something that I'd mentioned in the first episode, but I really want creepypasta to move beyond. As much as I love the stuff that makes me want to run away from the dark, and want to sleep with the TV on. I love that scary stuff.
Yeah,
I really want some more variety with creepypasta, because it doesn't have to be intensely scary. It doesn't have to be about the end of the world, but it just has to have that little bit of the horror genre injected into it.
It needs to make you feel uneasy. Maybe not scared, but you have to at least feel uncomfortable, like you sat on something sharp.
Right. And with that, you can do anything. Heck, there's a lot of children's movies that do that.
For real.
Well, heck, I just got done playing Luigi's Mansion. That game is a Mario game, but it's almost like it's parodying. Well, it is, but it parodies, like Resident Evils and such.
Yeah.
And video games like that. Heck, it's the opening area is basically the opening to the Spencer Mansion. So,
yeah.
So I mean, it's really blatant. Good work, Nintendo. Capcom did not sue. It's amazing. But which is something, because Capcom likes to do that.
Don't they?
But that's the type of thing that I'd like to see more from the community is more writings like that.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy pastas that not only, like I said, make you uncomfortable, but you get emotionally involved in them a little bit. Like not a feel pasta, but like you feel for the main protagonist, and you get sucked into the story, and then there is the creepiness, and then somehow you kind of feel like you're the protagonist, so the creepy factor gets kind of amped up because suddenly it's happening to you. Like, I like that.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have an edit. Sorry, we had. I realized that I did not have any headphones, and I still can't find any. So that's why you're hearing the voice. And there's going to be a disclaimer at the start of the podcast as well. But I'm an idiot. Moving on.
We still love you.
Thank you. So yeah, that's why MissShadowLovely's voice is a little bit overdrived. I will try to edit it to where it can it's not as bad, but that's why you might get a little bit of a double voice there. But
it just sounds awesome when you say my voice is overdrived. It makes me feel like I'm a transformer.
Booga gigit. And now I totally want to listen to You Got the Touch. Anyway. So I mean, keeping with it, you just got done explaining like one of your favorite types, but what is your favorite type of creepypasta? Like, the supernatural kind, or just what type would be your favorite?
I'm probably actually going to get a lot of hate for this, but I actually really enjoy ritual pastas. The type of pastas that tell you, on the third day of December, on a year that ends in an odd number, go to the end of your street and find the only abandoned building and find a room and blah, 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 and gives you all these instructions, and it tells you what happens. That may be the cheesiest thing in the world, but I love that stuff.
That is the only kind I don't like.
See, I told you, it's the least popular type of pasta.
Yeah, the Holders series is almost like that.
Yes, it is. It's very much like that.
So yeah, it's just a little bit more narrative driven.
Yeah.
I just can't stand them because I don't believe in any of that shit. So.
I know, but I think the reason that I like it is because I'm too chicken shit to actually to try it, but I keep thinking, man, I wonder what would happen if I actually. It's like the Bloody Mary legend. Like, most people are too chicken to try it.
Oh God, I've done that a million times.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm too chicken to try it, but a lot of people, they think, well, what happens if I actually do that? Like, it makes you think. Like,
go on X on any day in any country. Go on 4chan and go to X. You'll find a bunch of people trying to summon a succubus. I don't care if they're serious or not. Lol, what? Anyway, but honestly, I can't say it doesn't exist, so I can't say shit. So.
Right. I guess I'm too scared that it does, and like I'm gonna do something, and like something that isn't a succubus, that is like the no face thing from Spirit Away is gonna appear in my room. Yeah, and I'm gonna like pee my pants and then get eaten.
By the way, anything I say is just for shits and giggles. Don't take any of it seriously.
It's okay.
If you like summoning succubuses, have at it. Have at it. Incubuses, I'm not sure about them.
Yeah. Disclaimer: we cannot be responsible for any incubuses that are accidentally summoned in the process of summoning a succubus.
Indeed. You tried for Morrigan. You got Bubba.
And Bubba's brother.
Who? But anyway, God, this is going to be the most comedy-based of any of the podcasts.
Welcome to my life.
Well, moving on. Are you a fan of horror in general, like horror movies, books, etc.?
Very much so. I'm honestly, as weird as it sounds, because I read creepypastas and I write creepypastas, I actually do not really enjoy horror books. I don't know, maybe I have a very vast imagination, but it's hard for me to picture monsters the way that they should be pictured. But like horror movies, I cannot get enough of. Even bad horror movies, I'm like, if I'm bored,
horror movies are the best.
They are. Okay, so I have this thing where I watch horror movies with my friends, and we literally just rip the movie to shreds as we watch it. Especially our most recent one was Insidious. Insidious was terrible. I don't care who you are.
I disagree. Now, I did not love it. But there is the shadow scene is creepy as fuck.
Well, okay, the shadow scene, I will give it that. And like when they're looking up at the ceiling and like everyone's like, what's there? And then the kid's like, because my cat does that. My cat will just look at the ceiling like there's something there, and I'm like, holy crap. But like really the monster looked like Darth Maul, and
it did. The monster was a letdown for me, but I'm about the biggest fan of Tiny Tim that you're going to meet.
Yes.
I love
that scene.
And
that scene.
It's awesome to hear his songs in anything.
I will say that scene was absolutely flawless. I literally, I may have given birth to a joy baby the second that scene happened.
The thing is that, one, if you don't know who Tiny Tim is, look him up, and if you judge his music just on his voice, look up Tiptoe Through the Tulips first, but then go look up some of his other stuff when he sings in his baritone. But anyway, but he's also a very interesting guy. So when I heard that song was in there, I was like, oh, I gotta see this movie. The thing about Insidious is, no, I didn't like the story. A lot of my friends liked the story. I thought it was repetitive. I thought it was, you can tell what's going on. But Bousman was in it, and Bousman directed it, and Bousman's a good director. Okay, editor's note. I was actually thinking of Leigh Whannell and James Wan when I was saying Bousman. I got confused because I had just seen Bousman's name on the cover of Saw 3. So I fucked up. Don't want to give you false information.
I will give you that. Yeah. But like, I think what happened, in my opinion, was they took a premises or a plot that it was really hard to make scary, and they tried really hard to make it scary. And I mean, it was creepy, but it wasn't like, oh man, I'm never gonna sleep again, scary.
Movies don't do that to me though anymore, so I can give that to it. Movies don't scare me anymore.
Yeah.
Creepypasta do, because I'm allowed to use my imagination to make stuff scarier.
Right. I know that feel, bro. I do.
Right. And for that matter, I watch a lot of very obscure horror movies. Recently, now it wasn't obscure when it came out, but one of the best, and I mean best, movies that you can watch horror-wise is The Changeling, and it is a Canadian production. Orson Scott Card was in. I think I mentioned it on one of the other podcasts, but it is just that good of a ghost story, and you guys need to check it out. But it's pretty underknown now, which really sucks. But so I understand looking at really, really obscure horror movies, and just say I've seen Island of Terror, and if you know what Island of Terror is and seen it, anybody who's seen that movie just kind of sighed, and yeah, and everybody just knows it. They know that feel, bro. It's
There was collective feels had just now.
Yeah, if you've seen that movie, and I don't mean any spin-offs, I mean old 70s bestiality and all.
Yep. That feel, bro.
Bad. But moving on from bad memories. So.
Just repress it. Just repress it like normal people.
Indeed. But so what's your thoughts on the community, like the amount of readers? Are there too many readers? Is there not enough differences? One of the things I've found is a lot of people are starting, as great as Muse music is, it's starting to be in every video, and people are starting to want more. And I've gotten a couple people that have said, hey, I can make music, I'm going to make some music that you guys can use. And I've been really, really excited about that, because I've been using stuff from Freesound and everything. So, I mean, is there anything else in the community that strikes you as remarkable, or, something that you want to speak about or anything?
Well, on that note, that just reminded me, Mew is actually working on right now trying to get together a community of musicians. I made a play on words. Sorry, I amuse myself sometimes. I amuse myself. I just keep making puns all over the place. Anyway, he's creating a community of musicians, etc., specifically for creepypastas, trying to get together artists on YouTube and otherwise that are interested in creating new music for creepypastas, because I think in the same respect that his music is used in every video, I think in the same respect he would also like to see other music used in videos.
Right. And yeah, and that's something that I'm really excited about, and I did not know about that. But for those that not in that group and listening to this, maybe one or two of you, maybe, don't be scared. Just send a reminder message. Say, hey, I've got some music. What do you think?
Because I mean, we are really totally excited. Open. You have no idea how many. Literally 90% of the time when I'm recording a new SCP video, like 90% of the time spent is not my recording. It's me looking for music to put in the background, because there's just a lack of appropriate music that isn't copyrighted.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that people, like the readings themselves normally don't take over an hour or so, depending on the length of the video. editing takes a long time. And
yes, and please, if you're listening to this, please learn to cut us readers some slack. Sometimes we're recording videos at like 3 in the morning, and sometimes we'll forget to put in a sound effect, or sometimes we'll forget to say a line, or sometimes we'll forget to take out a line we said twice. Just cut us a little bit of slack.
That's something that I understand, though. Like with all of our stuff, we only release like one a week.
Yeah.
Or something. I make sure that there are no errors, there are no sound errors. I edit them over a couple days. That's why Sorrow Mine stuff does not come out one after another.
Yeah.
We've got a couple ready to go right now. The thing is that we don't, want to release more than 2 a week because
that's understandable. But like if you look at the Creepy Dark and I, who each are running a series currently that has 1,000+ parts to it, we have to crank out at least 2 a week, or else we are never, ever, ever going to be done with them.
Yeah, I understand.
There's 2,000 of my SCP videos, and I think I've only completed. I think I just finished the 13th one last night.
So there's a lot of those type of videos. Yeah, cut some slack now. If Sorrow Mine ever makes a flub up, tell me. I'm going to regret that one day for saying that, but tell me.
Just rip open his innards and tell him how much he sucks. No, I'm
exactly.
Kidding.
Seriously, I want comments. I want feedback. Please tell me. Anyway, I need friends. I need friends. Come on. I promise I won't bite.
But you were asking me about the community.
Yes.
I actually, for as sweet as I'm known for being and as bubbly, I actually kind of have a unpopular opinion on the community and the number of readers. I believe that right now it's almost becoming a fad to be a creepypasta reader or a narrator in general. A lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of people just want to be, hey, look, I can read creepypastas too. And what it's becoming is quantity over quality.
Yes.
And I forever see all of these people who send me links to their videos, and it's like, this is great, but I can tell you rushed this just so you could have a video out there. Like, give yourself some credit, because I know that if you're listening to creepypasta, that you probably have the potential to be a good narrator as well. But, I mean, so many people will, record it on... I wouldn't even say an iPod, because iPods actually have pretty good microphones, but their phone. They'll record it on just their normal LG phone, and there'll be tons of background noise, and there will be no emotion in it. You can tell they're just reading it, and it's I appreciate that you like the community that much and you want to be part of it, but do yourself the credit, and give yourself the credit, and do yourself the honor of actually putting some effort into it.
And I really can't say much because honestly, Sorrow Mine is not that popular as a YouTube channel, and we're new. We're really, really new.
Yes.
And
you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. But why not start off at a high point and build up instead of starting at that person's kind of sucks, and then people have to expect better from you. That's not the way to start.
But as my advice to people that actually want to get into it, do not just say, "Hey, I want to do this," and start. We came up with the idea for Sorrow Mine Christmas last year, that time period. We took 3 months to get stuff together. Then we started doing a couple quick recordings, and then we started doing everything.
Exactly. And I'm sure it's on your part, it's a group effort, right? Not just one of you is I'm going to do all of it. That's what it takes. It takes, a lot of people just assume that in the Creepypasta Midnight Society that we're just hey guys, want to do a video? Yeah, man, let's record. And we all have to sit down and record. A video from us can take anywhere from a week to a month, because we criticize each other, and we work on each other's lines, and we refine it to almost an art form, and before that video gets released. It takes people giving you critique, and it takes people who are able to take critique. Everyone in the Creepypasta Midnight Society, we're more like a family than anything. We talk to each other 24/7 every day of the week. And 90% of the time, we're not talking about creepypasta. We're just friends outside of that. But when we do talk about creepypasta, we're serious business face. Yeah, and
another thing is that, for example, I kind of act as our director. But okay, for example, the Keeper doesn't have to do a lot of acting because, well, he's the damn keeper and he has a really good voice. He's really good. He's got a really good voice for what he does. Dustin, who does the voice, has the ability to do a whole lot of good acting, but within his voice, it's better for him to just deliver it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
He goes low, he draws in that Vincent Price, he draws in that Peter Lorre, he draws in that Crypt Keeper, and then just lets it go.
Exactly.
That's how he does it. Whereas I got another friend who from his character in the Sorrow Mine story, because we do have a story, in the Sorrow Mine story, his character, who we're going to hear his first reading this Saturday, the day that this comes out, hopefully it'll be up. But his character is much more deadpan, less emotion, you know. There's method behind her madness.
Yes.
You know, whereas my character's lots of acting, lots of finding where my mind is, lots of changing my voice. I mean, if you listen to, you know, my voice on a creepypasta versus my voice here,
yeah,
it's normally a lot different, and it's because I'm trying to get into a character, and that's the idea behind the Plague Doctor. Is, you know, he's a man of many different personalities and such.
And on that note, that would be another word of advice that I would give to people who are interested in becoming creepypasta readers, and more than just creepypasta readers, but like you said, creepypasta actors, is if you are going to really try and commit to a role, pick a role that it does not take much effort to get into. Like for my SCP videos, if you listen to them, my character Angel, her voice is literally exactly my speaking voice that I'm using right now with a megaphone effect over it. And her personality is exactly my personality. Like, I don't have to stretch it at all, so it doesn't sound forced.
Right. And this is probably bad to say, but it's really easy for me to get into a character who is crazy out of their gourd. I mean, and it's also really easy for me to get into a character who is able to speak very properly.
But see, that's another thing, is it also allows you the chance to kind of express a side of your personality that you wouldn't normally do. Like, for instance, in the Brother or Sister Dear series that I wrote, that Mr. Creepypasta and I do, I get to be a homicidal little 6-year-old. Like, I hate to say that's part of my personality, but, you know, the proof is in the pudding.
You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, you really, really have to think about what you're doing. Our readings are not our big project. Our readings are a side project. The main project is short films that we're going to be doing hopefully this summer, but it may be delayed. But hopefully this summer, short films, and right now the podcast, because we're being able to do a whole lot of stuff with the podcast, even though it was originally a side project.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that a lot of what you have to do with any type of endeavor that you have is you have to really think it out. Take a couple months, get somebody to help you write. If you're going to do it alone, just start listening to a lot of different people. Start at Mr. Creepypasta if you want to, but move out and listen to a whole lot of different people. Listen to people that are close to your style of voice, and then listen to people that's really, really far out. Because I get a lot of my inspiration from Vicious 516, because especially his Stormman voice that he did for that video really inspired the March Hare along with Heath Ledger's Joker.
And that brings up another point. For goodness sake, do not compare creepypasta readers to each other, because we're not supposed to all sound alike. That would be like if every voice actor in the world sounded alike. Like, I get compared to the Little Fears on a daily basis. I would like to put out there right now that I am not the Little Fears, and I never will be. And people, and the same thing happens even in our own group. Poor Life of an Idiot gets compared to Mr. Creepypasta on a daily basis, and he's not Mr. Creepypasta. But people hold him to the same. They're like, "Man, you don't sound like Mr. Creepypasta in that video," and it's like, well, he's not supposed to.
And that's something that, like, one thing now, changing gears, good sides of the community though, is that we've been getting a lot of comments on our videos saying, I love how you got a bunch of variety. I love that you're different. You know, you've got personality to it, and I really feel good when I hear that stuff, because that's the point behind Sorrow Mine. We're not just speaking from our speaking voices. We're not just speaking from ourselves. We're speaking from characters. We're we're different. We're it turns out that we're not a bunch of evil menacing demons that live in a mine. Given we do,
you're just really good at playing it.
We do live in Kentucky though, so there's that. But
there is that. I will not fault you on that.
But at the same time, we're we're a lot more towards the personality, the different types of characters wise, and acting. And that's something that I've found that a lot more readers, including the old guard, are starting to do a lot more of, is truly acting. And again, like we've got characters in Sorrow Mine that don't really have to, or their acting is very subdued. But again, but again, for my March Hare stories, I've got to be absolutely batshit insane, and for my Plague Doctor stories, sadly, this is way too easy for me than it should. Way more easy for me than it should be. But I have to be a very, very pompous fuck. I have to be really, really over the top, and it's.
But that's the fun in it. That is 100% the fun in it, because you get to be someone who, that if you were them in real life, someone would just punch you in the dick.
Indeed. So we've discussed this forever, and that's going to be the name of the show now. Sorrow Mine podcast number 3, MissShadowLovely, and comments. Comments on the community. Anyway, well, is there a recent creepypasta that you've read that you want to recommend to the listeners?
Oh, gosh. I'm not gonna lie. I've literally been so wrapped up in the SCP series recently that I haven't gotten to really read any new pastas. I will say something that is kind of sweeping the creepypasta community right now is field pastas. Copyright ShadowLovely. Field pastas are for some reason super big right now.
Which is
I don't know, maybe it's because spring just passed or something. I don't know, but they're actually really big.
It's because of the creepy dark.
That too. But I don't know, like Weeping Wednesdays with Mr. Creepypasta and all the Creepy Darks new field pastas, and I just released a couple field pastas. Mm-hmm. Like it seems to be a trend right now. I don't know if it's a trend that will be continuous, but right now it's definitely hit a peak in its popularity. And so right now I'm actually kind of feeling the field pasta. I enjoy I don't know, it's kind of like it's kind of venting, and like you were talking about earlier, it's kind of a way that the community, even though they don't want to admit it because everyone on the internet pretends to be a hard ass, like it's a way that the community is kind of like, wow, we're all people too. Like we all kind of share those feels, and we're like, oh, that feel, bro. And like people, especially on the Creepy Darks videos, I recently actually shared one of the Creepy Darks field pastas, Breathe, the one where he basically tells you that you're pretty for like 4 minutes, on a Trichotillomania support group. I'm actually part of a Trichotillomania support group. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it. It basically means that you pull out your own hair and you don't know why. But I posted that, and that video got so much recognition in that group of people that it was phenomenal. And I think that that's astounding that something from a creepypasta community can affect outside of their own little inner circle. And I think that's great.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see that a community of people that really are those crazy kids that you don't talk to.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite honestly. Or the quiet ones.
If they talked to each other, they would realize that they actually had something in common.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. But on that note, let's bring it back to classic creepy. Because recently I've been reading a lot, looking for stuff. Now, I won't spoil any that we're actually going to release. But I've been there's a couple, let's see here on my list. A Hands-On Approach was one that I read recently, which was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The Operator was pretty good. And also, I've been reading some H.P. Lovecraft poetry, which I had never read before. I'd read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe, and of course, I've read ungodly amounts of H.P. Lovecraft.
Right.
But Nemesis, obligatory Resident Evil reference. Nemesis by H.P. Lovecraft, which I should totally do a reading of it just in Nemesis's voice.
I'll second that motion.
But it's a really great work, and if you know, of course, the Cthulhu mythos, but actually I think this is a little bit closer to the dream cycle. You don't know it, Google it. This is the dream, more close to the dream cycle, or the last part of the Cthulhu mythos part of H.P. Lovecraft's career. But it's one I've read just about every day. I'm like, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video. I just never get around to it
those feels.
Because I'm going to be like, I'm going to have to shout and yell and be all Shakespearean with this shit. So
yes, those feels, bro.
But and you know, it's also horror movie recommendations. I can actually say that I am really behind on a lot of films, and I just recently watched Saw 3.
Oh, you are pretty behind then, because there's been like 50 more of those.
Yeah, well, I'd seen Saw 4 already, and Saw 4 is pretty good. But
I would say Saw 4 is actually one of my top 3 Saw movies.
I'm not a fan of a lot of Saw movies, because I noticed that even while watching 3, I'm like, okay, I'm about done now with this series. And Tobin Bell's gone, so sorry, I'm done.
I'm not gonna lie though, I really actually enjoyed the idea behind the Saw movies. The idea that there was this crazy person who was like, I'm gonna tell you why you suck while I'm killing you.
Yeah, it just after Bousman left, it dead. But you know, so I'm behind, and I'm also behind watching the 2 Grindhouse movies, or the first 2. I have seen Machete, and I have seen Death Proof, which I am probably the only person that really likes Death Proof more than Planet Terror, but I recently watched Planet Terror, which was really fun to watch. And if you have not seen all the Grindhouse movies, for that matter, please do. And for any horror fan, there is a movie called American Grindhouse, which is a documentary about Grindhouse films. If you don't know what Grindhouse is, shame on you. Go watch that documentary, because if you're a horror fan, you need to know Grindhouse, you need to know the Universal movies, and you need to know modern horror.
Yes.
And Hammer films. If you don't know what Hammer films are, big shame on you, because you probably don't know some of the best acting ever. Not really. It's probably shit. It's really shitty acting, but it's got good. You can see good actors like Christopher Lee playing Dracula, and you know, so it's awesome.
Right.
But you know, so you know, there's the little interlude to appease the more creepy crowd like me that actually just wants the horror.
Right? No. And if you're into just cheesy blood and guts horror with kind of a humorous twist to it, I will say my favorite scary movie for the longest time, and I think it probably still is Stay Alive. And yes, it's the one with Frankie Muniz in it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trying to think. There's anything else that I've seen recently. Not recently, but
Cabin in the Woods. That's all I'm gonna say.
I wanted to watch it today, and it was out of the theaters. Tomorrow I'm gonna go watch Chernobyl Diaries. I know it's gonna be shit.
I want to see that movie so badly.
I know it's gonna be shit. In my heart, I'm like, this is going to suck.
It is, but I wanna go there, and I wanna go there with like 3 buckets full of popcorn and candy, and I just want to sit there and I want to talk through the whole movie.
I just want to watch. I'm probably going to go with my buddy tomorrow and go watch it. But
copious amounts of jelly.
But Chernobyl Diaries is one that I've been wanting to watch since I heard about it. I saw the trailer. I was like, Jesse McCartney is in this bullshit.
My face went.
And I love how it goes from like either the producer or the director of Paranormal Activity. I go, that movie wasn't directed.
Right? Like someone was like, hey guys, we're gonna put a video camera in this room, and then the actors are gonna do stuff.
Do your shit. Yeah, I do love Paranormal Activity 2.
Yes.
Don't really care for 1. because Mike is a dick and don't really care for 3. But 2, I actually got.
I forgot there was a 3. Oh man, that's how bad it
3
was.
actually got some good reviews, but it retconned half the damn story. So I was like, fuck it.
That was one of those movies that probably didn't need a 3.
No, I can see a 3, and I can see more, because I like the idea. Because I like found footage movies. I really like found footage. I liked Apollo 18, for God's sakes. That movie was terrible.
They need a twist. It would be good if they threw in a twist.
Well, Apollo 18 was on the moon. There's your twist.
Well.
there is a lot of good. There's a lot of good ones. So, but and I just like the style, and I need to see Chronicle. But anyway, movie talk over. I'm trying to get through the rest of this. Is there anything you want to tease coming for your channel? I know you wanted to talk about SCP a little bit. Introduce what that is.
Yeah, because I keep referencing the SCP series, and like probably most of the people listening to this don't know what that is. But right now I am actually currently working through an entire series based off of the SCP files, which are pretty much just there on the internet. If you want to read them, just Google SCP, and basically there's 200 quote unquote files taken from all across the world, written by all sorts of unknown authors, that are basically, they can range from anything from the Loch Ness Monster to, I think I just did a reading of SCP-999, which was the Tickle Monster. Yeah, my fans, see, the cool thing about the SCP series is I actually only do the series based on requests. Mm-hmm. So every SCP that I record is competing with other SCPs in number of requests. And my latest SCP, 999, the Tickle Monster, got 40 requests.
Nice.
In under, like, 48 hours. And I don't know why my fans are, insist on doing that to me, because they do. I don't think they realize that basically what I have to do is I have to read that file entry, and then I have to write a story around it, and then I have to record it. And if you've ever tried to write a story based on something called the Tickle Monster, yeah. That's what that's my life every day. But yeah, that's my plug is it's a really cool, it's kind of like, it's what I like to call, I'm kind of introducing it as a new breed of creepypasta that I like to consider an interactive creepypasta. It's not like the videos you see on YouTube where you can click 2 different options and choose different paths at the end, but it's more like it's almost like they're each personal videos to the listener. And now the listener, it's like I'm a rogue agent, and now because you've listened to my video, you're now a rogue agent, and now you have to listen to me to survive. And there's like a forum where the fans can get involved, and I was really surprised how popular it became, because we already have quite a few members, and they discuss their quote-unquote experiences with the SCP projects, and then I can offer quote-unquote advice, and it's really fun. It's almost like live-action role-playing, but cooler.
Yeah, it's RP.
yes, but it's it takes on a different level. It's hard to explain, but right. Like I said, it's not. I wouldn't actually plug this as creepypasta, because, like I said, there's 2,000 of them, and a lot of them are not creepy in the slightest. They're just kind of there. A lot of them are actually humorous.
Right.
So it has a fairly large diversity, but like I was saying, there's 2,000 of them, and if I ever want to finish before I am going through menopause, I will have to do at least 2 a week. And I'm trying very, very hardly. Is that a word? Hardly? Yes.
That means that you're not trying at all.
I am trying hard-ish.
Very hard.
Hardish. Yes,
I'm trying hardly. I'm hardly trying. Wait.
Well, actually, that's probably more accurate.
Trying hard or hardly trying?
Because when people think of, or at least when people in the Creepypasta Midnight Society think of MissShadowLovely, they think of a picture of a dog with, like, goggles on that says, "I don't even know what I'm doing." Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
We're running really long, so we're going to have to probably skip the stories, but we're going to have to have you on again. So we will get to it. And before we do go, because I can't forget, the Keeper says hi, because he's a fan of the SCP. So,
well, hello.
I said it on air, Dustin.
Well, this is me blowing you an air kiss and thanking you for being a fan of mine.
I love this. He's gonna be so pissed at me. Okay, so end out the interview with the question that I want to end everyone with: Silent Hill or Resident Evil, and reasons why.
Would you shoot me if I said Left 4 Dead? That's a yes. Your silence is a yes.
I would have accepted Eternal Darkness, Amnesia. I would have accepted a survival horror game, but that's not a survival horror game. That's
fine. Silent Hill.
I'm messing with you.
Well, actually, okay. You see, now you've made this difficult because there have been Silent Hill games that I've absolutely hated, and there have been Silent Hill games that I absolutely
I am one of the biggest Silent Hill fans that you're going to meet.
But Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, it's so beautiful and so much fun because it's like Left 4 Dead with spandex.
But it's not scary at all.
But it's Left 4 Dead with spandex.
We are not going to agree on this.
I like both games in their own respects. I like Silent Hill for the scary factor, although I will say I was very disappointed with Downpour. I really was. Like, I was expecting...
Have you gotten through it?
Yes, I went all the way through. I don't know. It was the... I think it was the main boss that really let me down. And
I haven't gotten that far, but honestly, the atmosphere itself sells Downpour to me. The fact that I can walk around Silent Hill, the fact that there's Easter eggs like crazy for super fans.
There is.
And the fact that I actually like the protagonist. This hasn't happened since the first one.
But here's my problem. Here is my biggest issue with the whole entire game. Every time it comes to a decision-making point and I have to pick option A or option B, regardless of what option I choose, someone falls off a cliff.
Okay, that's actually from the beginning of the game. That's not a spoiler to anybody. That's something that Homecoming did, and Homecoming, not the story, because the story's decent. Homecoming can go fuck itself.
Right.
But this is stuff we're just going to have to disagree with. I love Downpour. I love every time I'm playing it. It's not as scary. It's more of a thriller rather than horror.
Well, I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite. Like, right. I think there was a really poor diversity in the monsters, and the main bad guy is so disappointing.
Everybody's bitched about the monsters. I really don't care because I don't think that there's the symbolism that they used to have.
They do have really good symbolism. I will give you that.
You know, it's the thing is, like, Silent Hill monsters are all about trying to do the symbolism of the monsters. But the fact of the matter is that this Silent Hill, the place is more the symbolism rather than the monsters, whereas in the first game it was almost all the monsters.
And the protagonist has a very, very good backstory, and I think that they really intricate it well.
They haven't done a good backstory for a protagonist since the second game with James. But
I wouldn't even a little bit disagree with that. I will say I don't think you've gotten to the end yet, but I will say the end monster is so disappointing that it's almost painful.
I'm at the other world of the place where you see none. I don't want to spoil what it actually is.
Yeah, I don't think you actually come into contact with the end. I will say I do really enjoy the I can't remember their names. The dolls, I think they're called.
The Barbies. Yeah.
Yes, I really enjoy those monsters. Those are my favorite.
They're really awesome, and they're really fun to fight too. They're scary to fight.
Yes, they are, because you're like, holy dicks.
And I'm just going to say something. Lay Hansel and Gretel scene was amazing.
Right? I don't even know.
I sat there creeped the hell out because that was just a brilliant puzzle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was very cinematic, and that's this game is a lot more cinematic, and that's why I say it's more of a thriller.
And you had a very good point about the atmosphere. The atmosphere is what sells this game.
Right, and it feels like Stephen King's Storm of the Century at times.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite. That is my favorite Stephen King story. It's one of my favorite movies of all time because of André Lenoge. But and that's one of the things. So I say buy the hell out of Downpour, play it. But it's only if you can get over the whole. It's not traditional Silent Hill. But
I think that's one thing that I actually did enjoy about it is it wasn't it broke tradition, and that was its one redeeming quality I think for me. Besides the dolls, I did like dolls.
I didn't like that it was breaking tradition at first, but I also like, okay, I forgive almost every gameplay quirk because the company that Konami gave it to has not made a big game. Until this. Vatra was basically an unknown. So I forgive everything. Plus,
right?
I've got Silent Hill beer goggles on. I'm going to like it if it's Silent Hill, unless it's Book of Memories. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't enjoy. I will say the shoe on the other foot. I don't enjoy many Resident Evil games. I especially did not enjoy Resident Evil 5. I haven't even actually finished it.
I still have fun with 5. I still have fun with 5, and
I have this like I don't even know if I would call it a pet peeve. I would more call it something that makes me extremely butt ragey. Is I cannot stand games where you cannot jump.
Okay. Well, that's any survival horror. Sorry.
Well, okay, but here's the thing: Resident Evil does this. It doesn't let you jump, and then it rubs it in your face by making you able to jump if your partner is there.
Well, that was one of those early things where people thought that was how they're going to make co-op work, and I forgive that because, well, what was it, 2009? They hadn't perfected co-op with. In 2009 for the Xbox.
Or the door opening. You can't open. You're like a 500-pound muscle roid drinking muscle man, and you can't open a door.
Chris needs to get off the roids. My God, are you skirting the racism? And Albert Wesker, as awesome as that man is, and even though he is voiced by DC Douglas, who is probably the guy that is the nicest to the fans.
Right.
Oh, did they overpower him, and did the last fight suck? And this game is really old at this point, so I have no shits about spoiling it. Punching a rock. Enough said. All that said, though, I love DC Douglas's Wesker. I love all the campy shit that was in it. The monsters were interesting, in my opinion. It's just they took way too much from the movies, and the movies I've already covered on this podcast.
Yeah.
I hate. So, Paul W.S. Anderson, please go get yourself bent. Anyway. No, like, Resident Evil, like, I have a GameCube now, so I'm going to be buying Remake and Resident Evil 0 and being very happy because I get to play as Rebecca Chambers. She's my favorite character.
Yes.
She's my favorite character. So.
I will also say, in the end of Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, Leon's a dick.
Leon is okay. This is something I'm just going to go ahead and mention. Resident Evil Degeneration is a good movie. I like it. It's more Resident Evil than any of the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. At least it's that. But oh my God, the misogyny that is in that movie, because every time Claire thinks she's found out something, Leon just randomly pops in and says, "No, you're wrong. Guess what? I'm right." It happens twice. We find out, she's like, "You did this. You're the person that made this virus. You're evil. We're going to stop you, Leon." Nope. Leon Kennedy.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I have a penis, which means I am right.
Get back in the kitchen.
Seriously, every time Claire does something, she either gets knocked out, she can't do anything, and then Leon goes, "I'm gonna shoot a gun underwater." You can't do that. That's not a gun that can do that. I know my guns. That's not a gun that can do that shit. There are guns that can do that. That's not one of them.
That is hilarious.
So, but I still like the movie. It was still a fun watch. It's just, God, did I get pissed because I like Claire, and I'm not a huge fan of Leon. I like him.
That's because Leon's a dick, and his hair is so unhumanly perfect.
Well, I still love Resident Evil 4, though. I can't hate 4.
Well, 4 was good. It's 5 that I don't like.
I still like 5 for the fun factor and the fact that it very well wrapped up the story.
It did, but I don't know. I just have a vendetta against games where I can't open a door all by myself, even though I'm a 600-pound roid rager.
Okay, it's just because they were kind of trying to come up with co-op stuff. So I will defend stuff that I really do feel that needs to be defended. Again, my favorite game is Final Fantasy VIII. I have defended it all my life.
Well, you have my full support behind that.
So, but anyway, we've spoke about this forever. So, in general, for this question, Resident Evil Downpour is awesome in my opinion. Shadow is not a big of a fan. Resident Evil 5 is fun in my opinion. She's not a big of a fan.
Well, I'm gonna say I will give kudos to both Downpour and I will give kudos to Resident Evil Raccoon City because those are, I think, the newest right now in the series, and I will say they are both playable. But don't get your hopes super high just to be disappointed.
That said, Resident Evil Raccoon City, you're going to be disappointed because the story has, well, nothing, and is way too easy. And,
well, yeah, that's because it's like Left 4 Dead. There is no story, only killing.
Right, which is, in my opinion, very fucking stupid. But for
I just want to shoot people in the face. That's all I want.
If a game doesn't have story or isn't a fighting game, piss off, in my opinion. At least Left 4 Dead is fun enough and more co-op-y, but I never play myself. I only play with friends.
People who play Left 4 Dead by themselves are the epitome of the Forever Alone.jpg photo.
But at the same time, like with Downpour, be immersed in the atmosphere.
Yes.
Silent Hill has always been about the place and the atmosphere and the dread more than it has been about the story. It just so happens that two of the games have such amazing stories that you just cannot ignore. And I mean 1 and 2. I like 3, but 3 doesn't have a good of a story.
And if you can, play Silent Hill Downpour with headphones on, because that just, it adds. It definitely adds to the
also another reason why Downpour isn't as good as like the old ones is because sadly Akira Yamaoka retired from Konami to work somewhere else, so we don't have that music, but it's still good.
It is still good.
So again, I continue my rants about how much I love Downpour, even when there is adversity at hand. For that matter, I would like to plug a game that Dustin has wanted me to, Dear Esther, which is a game that you can get for $10 on Steam. Scary ass shit. Really good.
If you use the name Esther, that just kind of sets the bar.
Yeah, it's really it's really scary, and I do recommend it. So I guess we're going to go ahead and end the interview here. We have spent a shit ton of time talking, and I'm really happy about it. I've enjoyed the discussion. So please,
as have I.
Please check out MissShadowLovely's her channel. Check out the SCP series, and shameless plug. Please check out Sorrow Mine. So be ready for our creepypasta, The Rusted Rabbit, featuring MissShadowLovely. Thank you.
Ta-da!
And yet another podcast comes to a close. Thanks as always to our guest. MissShadowLovely was quite the interesting person to talk to, and I'm very, very happy that she was on. Remember to listen to our story, The Rusted Rabbit. Author unknown, but it is one of our favorites. This one features MissShadowLovely in a small guest appearance, so look forward to that. We are very excited, though, because next week, the big man himself, Mr. Creepypasta, will be our interviewee. And after that, our Legend of Zelda episodes will follow. I hope you enjoy the interesting story that we have. Good night.
Name, Devin Brown. Date of birth, March 15th, 1989. Date of death, April 1st, 2010. Location of death, Shannon Hall, 615 First Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Apartment 811. Victim was found mutilated in his bed on Sunday night at 11:34 p.m. Two of the witnesses that had uncovered his body reported hearing a child's laugh coming from the victim's body. There were 4 witnesses at the scene. Shortly after arriving, forensics discovered a series of humanoid paw marks on the underside of the victim's bed, along with some strands of hair. Analysis indicates that the marks were not left behind by a human. Further analysis by an animal expert determined that the paws were left behind by some kind of large rabbit with extra fingers. Upon further investigation, a tape recording was found inside the victim's large intestine. During questioning, the 2 witnesses that had reportedly heard the child's laughter emanating from the victim's corpse began to throw themselves against the observation glass, yelling with great force of the rusted rabbit. After being subdued and sedated, the 2 witnesses were placed under arrest for the night. They were released the next morning after being questioned about this rusted rabbit. Both of the witnesses denied having any recollection of what happened the night before. The following is recorded evidence of a tape recording which has been confiscated as police and forensic evidence.
all right. I don't know what's happening. I think I'm gonna die. I don't know. I don't know. Yesterday, I saw something. I'm recording this because I just want someone to know. No one can save me. It's coming. It's coming for me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not crazy, though. I know I'm not crazy. I saw it so clearly. I was walking home from school and that damned thing. It turned its head. It looked at me. I thought it was just a statue. I started to run. I was almost to the dorms, but it was under the bridge. That fucking bridge I had to go under to get home. I ran the other way. Back to the school, and I saw it. It was up on top of the building, across the street from the park. This thing, it's alive. It's alive. I got close enough, though. 1 block from the school, just one more fucking block, I would have been safe. I saw it in an alley that I ran past. And standing at the security guard's desk, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm too young, I don't want to die. It laughed! It laughed and it sounded like a bunch of little kids. I didn't go to school today. I saw it standing on the parking garage when I looked out the window this morning. It just won't leave me alone. I tried telling, but she called me crazy. No one believes me. I can't go to the cops. I can't go to anyone. Please, God. Please. I don't know how to fight it. It shows up wherever I am, and it won't leave me alone. It keeps smiling at me every fucking time. Its mouth looks bigger, and its eyes, oh God, its eyes. They're so deep. Empty. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I just need to stay up a little bit longer for my roommates to get back. Just a little bit longer. Then I'll be safe. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I have to be. This just can't be real. What was that? Oh God, it's here. It's here for me. It's here. No. God, please. No.
Rusty Rabbit just wants to play. We love you, Rusty Rabbit.
Due to the nature of this recording, detectives were sent to speak with the 2 witnesses who had reportedly heard the children's laughter, which had allegedly come from the victim's body. Both witnesses are now missing. The person mentioned in this tape was also reported to have gone missing the next day. After investigation, detectives found that all the victims' cell phones contained the same image labeled rustedrabbit.jpg.